Okay, so Dave, I had a problem where I had, let me just create a text box. I had a like answer one, it was a question, and then user selects three, or maybe let's user has like four choices to select from, but it's a multiple response, which means that they can select one or more questions, one or more answers to submit. So just let me create a selected state. Okay, let's say it's red. Okay, and now just some alignment. Yeah. So 2, 3, 4. But the client wanted to have like 1 point for this answer, 1 point for this answer, and 1 point for this, and 0 for this one, let's say. So I wanted to have that. I wanted to have the scores before I submit. I just wanted to have that variable ready. I didn't want to calculate this later, you know. I just wanted to be done ad hoc. So let's create a number variable. So score number, and let's just make a reference here so it's easier to see what's happening. Score. Right. So I was thinking change just variable. So let's say for answer 2, 3, and 4, and this one is 0, so we ignore that one. Adjust variable score, we add value 1 when state of rectangle 2 is selected. Okay? This makes sense,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so let me just copy that one and rectangle 3 and rectangle 4. Okay, so let's just preview this. Elevator music.
That. That's all I got.
That's more like an old computer loading or something.
It's a dot matrix printer.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, those were loud. Okay, so this works. Yeah, but you see it. It keeps adding. Oh, I think maybe one trigger is not correct. Rectangle 4. Yeah, that's the third. Okay, but what we want to add now is that you know, when the state is normal, that we subtract 1 because we don't want we don't want to have one score if the answer is not corrected, you know. So so my first idea was to do this. So rectangle 2 subtract if rectangle 2 is normal. Okay, so let me just do that 3 times. Rectangle 3 and rectangle 4. Okay, so let's see what happens now when I preview. Oh, it's -3 because these guys are normal states.
Yep, makes sense.
That's a problem. So this is where is not comes handy. So we have to, instead of normal, we have to say is not selected. You know, which means that when the object is selected, and then when it's not selected, when it's any other state, subtract the value 1. So normal is not the same as not selected. Is not selected.
That's a wonderful example of that because when you first asked me, I couldn't think of an example as to why those would be different.
Okay, so let's check it out now. Yeah. And I had a problem with that also for years, I could say. And you can keep clicking and you see how nicely it changes 0, 1, 0, 1.
Yeah, that's great.
And this is so handy. This is so handy because imagine if you had bunch of these guys, and if you were to calculate this when user clicks submit, I think it would be much harder. Like you would have to set a bunch of
You'd have all these
conditions.
extra triggers and variables to make sure that, yeah, now this
Exactly.
is as simple as you can make it.
Yeah. So that's it.
Very nice. Great example.